Hello and welcome to Mountain Patriot Homestead. I've got my apron on today, so that only means one thing, and that is we're back in the kitchen going to be cooking up a recipe today from my little red recipe box, and it is a recipe that is near and dear to my heart. It is a recipe that my mama made that anytime there were events going on at school, the community, and snacks or some type of cookies were needed, these were sent with us on trays and were always welcomed and eaten very quickly. And they are, most people know them as no-bake cookies. Mama's recipe called them boiled cookies because of the method that you use to cook them. We just knew them as Mama's cookies. And as my kids grew up and I made them for them and then taught them how to make them, they called them Momma's cookies. And so my youngest actually asked for me to do this video because I'm not sure if he's planning on making some of these or if he just wants to remember some very good times we had as they were growing up. So I'm going to get everything together because that's the way this works best, is you have all the ingredients together, because you don't want to go looking for something in the middle of this, because this is not a recipe that you start and then you leave and then you come back. Once you get started, you've got to stay with it. It's not hard and it's not that time consuming. It's just not one you want to walk away from. So I'm going to get all the ingredients together. Going to rearrange the camera so you'll be able to see. I'm actually going to be using a little stovetop. I've lost my train of thought on what you call it right this minute, but anyway, hot plate is all I can think of right this second. But I'm going to be using that because I can move my camera around and get you in here to see it better than I can with my stove. So give me a minute, I'll be right back and we'll get started on these cookies. Alright, I have got this set up and I have got my little burner going here. So I'm going to begin by putting in 2 cups of just white sugar. That's just plain white sugar. I am going to tell you how my mama made it and how I've always made it. If you want to substitute other types of sugars or whatever into your recipe, I cannot promise you how it's going to turn out because, frankly, I don't know. You can always experiment, though. That is the fun part about working in your own kitchen. Is it's your kitchen and you do what you want to. So I have got 2 cups of sugar and I just added in 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Now this is just regular baking cocoa. Let me stress, because sometimes people don't understand, this is not, it's not like the drink mix, chocolate mix, or anything like that. It is the baking cocoa. You know, the bitter stuff that, you know, you really don't want to eat by itself. It's that. So 1/4 cup of baking cocoa. Now I'm also going to show you something that you can use, that you can substitute, and this is like the mint, and it is a cocoa or the special dark cocoa. Now those can also be used in place of just the regular cocoa. If you just want to change up the flavor a little bit, you can do that. Mama, there wasn't those type of things around back when she was making this, or even when my boys were little. The way you changed the flavor then was by changing your extracts that you used. You could use a mint extract and give it a little bit of a minty flavor, but this is just the plain recipe that we're going for tonight, and that is what I'm sharing with you, and then you can use that as a springboard to do whatever you want to. So 2 cups of milk, 1/4 cup of cocoa. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in 1/2 cup of milk. I like to blend in my sugar and cocoa first to get it mixed up really good. And then I like to slowly add my milk, because I don't know if you've ever baked with baking cocoa before, but if you just dump milk into it, it likes to float, the cocoa does, and it takes me forever to get it stirred up. So I like to add it in there slowly, and then as you can see, it is just mixing up in there. So I'm just going to mix that, make sure it's all well mixed, there's no lumps, there's no unstirred anything, that it's all mixed in there with the milk really good. And what I am waiting for is I am waiting for this to come to a boil, because I want it to come to a boil. But here's why you don't leave it. Once it comes to a boil, all the other ingredients go in there. You stir like mad, and then you put it out on, Mama used wax paper. I used to use wax paper too, but you've seen me use these before, these little silicone mats with my cooking, and they're perfect for putting these out on, because that way they don't stick, they're reusable, and they just work great for this type of thing. So, and if anybody's wondering, I got these off of Amazon. This one is called Hot Pop, Hot, H-O-T-P-O-P, Hot Pop, and this is just a Amazon Basics silicone mat. So nothing fancy here, just what I got. And while that is boiling, I am going to, something I did forget to put out was I forgot to put out just a little towel, that when this comes to a boil and I need to remove it from the heat, I'll need something to set it on, because you don't want to set anything real hot down on the counter. And I'll tell you how I know that. When I was a teenager, Daddy had just finished making beautiful countertops in Mama's kitchen. Just finished getting new countertops down. And I'd made some cornbread, and I decided it was time for the cornbread to come out of the oven. And there were some things on the stove, and instead of moving things around, or instead of putting a towel down, I took that hot skillet out of the stove and set it right down on the laminate top. And I don't know if you know anything about laminate, but it doesn't like hot cast iron skillets set directly onto it. And that brand new laminate countertop popped a circle the perfect size of that skillet directly under that. Of course, Daddy was not happy with me. Mama, nobody was happy with me, including me. You know, I didn't get in a lot of trouble. I just, you know, basically got the, why would you do that? And frankly, it was because I was young and dumb, and I'm sticking with that story, because I did not think anything about it popping up that laminate, but it sure enough does. So that's why I make sure I have something down so I can set, you know, I usually use a trivet, but this will be fine. It'll keep it from sliding around while I'm working on it. This is actually the first time I've used this little hot pot thing, and so I'm going to have to remember, don't stick my elbow on it while I'm talking to y'all once I get this taken off of here. So I am just stirring and waiting for this to come to a boil, because once it starts boiling, I'm going to cook it for 3 minutes. And so you see, it's really, it doesn't take a long time to do this. It's just, you can't walk away and go do laundry or something like that. You've got to be standing here. So I'm starting to get some bubbles here. It's starting to boil. And I'm just trying to get it to a boil where it's really not stirring down as I stir it, and pretty much it's to that point. Be right back. Got to set my timer. So I've got that set for 3 minutes. It'd be really nice if I had a timing device over here so I didn't have to run off. But so now is the time you definitely do not leave it. I'm going to turn the heat down just a hair. Because again, I'm not used to cooking on electric. My stove is gas, and I have cooked on gas pretty much all of my adult life, and so electric is just something I don't normally use. So this is kind of a, oh, please don't mess up kind of thing. But it is, I think you can see it in the video, but it is boiling to beat the band now. I just don't want it popping and splattering, because that'd be like lava if it landed on you. And we certainly don't want that. I don't want that anyway. So just a couple more minutes and we'll be ready to take this off the heat. I love this little Cuisinart pot because the handles on it do not get hot, and that's wonderful. What is your favorite cookies? Tell me down in the comments below. Do you have a favorite cookie? Did your mom make cookies, or did you make cookies for your kids that was your favorites? I mean, really, I love cookies. Cookies are probably, well, I'd say they're my favorite dessert. I guess ice cream is a favorite dessert too, but I love cookies. And these are my favorite cookies. And I have to admit, I have not made them in a very long time because my husband does not like any kind of a cookie with oatmeal in it. And so pretty much I have not made these cookies since I guess my kids were at home, and my last kid hasn't been at home for over a decade. So it's been quite some time. So this is a walk down memory lane for me because it has been quite some time since I have made these. And we will definitely see how these turn out. I will not be getting a taste test from my husband because, as I said, he does not like anything with oatmeal in it. So I'm not going to torture him and try to get him to try it. But once this comes off that heat, I have to work really fast. And here we go. I'm going to take that off now. Turn that timer off. Okay? And the next thing that goes in is going to be my butter. This is 1 stick of butter. I'm trying not to splatter nothing. So there is 1 stick of butter. I have got, let's see, 1/2 cup of peanut butter. If I can get it in there. 1/2 cup of peanut butter. I have got a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to stir that up. Hopefully y'all can see it. I know it's a little far away. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to stir that as well as I can. Turn that off. We don't need the heat no more. But I am stirring this peanut butter. Is there anything better than peanut butter and chocolate? Do y'all like peanut butter and chocolate? I love it. But I am stirring this peanut butter, butter, and vanilla. Again, you can switch up extracts. If you've got some other extract that you would rather put in here and try, you're welcome to do so. Again, this is the original recipe that we used, and that is why I'm going with it. Just got a couple of clumps of butter that I'm trying to get. This butter was rather cold. I should have had the butter out longer and had it softened, and then it wouldn't have been near as hard to get melted in here. but I'm just trying to get it melted off in here, and then we can add our very last ingredient, which is the oatmeal. Okay, so that is almost, I've only got a little tiny batch right there that, okay. So, this is my oatmeal, and this is 3 cups of oats. Now, Mama liked to use the quick oats. I have used quick oats, and I have used regular oats. And by regular oats, I mean just the old-fashioned oats. And do not use instant, and do not use steel cut, because neither one of those are going to work well. So anyway, I am stirring, because now is when it gets critical to get it all stirred up in there. Use your elbow grease. Get all the oats covered in the peanut butter and chocolate goodness. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna swing you around this way and try to not drop you. Okay, and I am going to not put my elbow on that hot pan. And I'm just going to show you, remember those pecan cookies I made the other night? Pretty much that's what you're doing with this. You're just scooping them out and getting them on there. And like I said, you want to work fast, because these will start setting up pretty quick. And that's the best part about it, is because they set up quick, so you get to eat them quick. And you know, these really aren't bad for a summertime cookie when you don't want to heat up the house a lot. Because really, I could take this little hot plate out on the porch and make these if I wanted to. Okay, it's about getting where I can't get to it because of the pot, so I'll just move to this tray, or mat, I guess, not tray. But if you need cookies that will stand up to shipping, I can vouch that these will stand up to shipping. When I have lived in various places doing various things, my mama would send me boxes of these sometimes, just kind of as a reminder of home. My sweet little mama. You know, Mother's Day just passed, and it's not just Mother's Day that I think of my mama. What makes you think of your mama? Anytime that I can pull out recipes that belong to her. And yeah, she may have not made that. She may have not been the originator of this recipe, but I can just see her in my mind's eye making these cookies. Because my daddy loved these cookies. He loved chocolate. He was a chocolate fiend and probably didn't weigh 140 pounds soaking wet rocks in his pocket. But he loved these cookies. And Mama would make these for him and put in his lunchbox, because he carried one of those big old lunch boxes, construction work boxes I call them, that had the big handle on it, and he'd carry his lunch to work every day, and he almost always had some of these cookies in there, because Mama kept him made up in these cookies. He loved these things. So as you can see, as I start getting to the last ones, I have to kind of scrape, because they definitely set up in there. Now, as a kid, and I'm just scattering it everywhere now, and as my kids can probably attest to, they didn't mind at all there being a little bit stuck in there, because I know as a kid, I kind of liked that last little rake, because Mama would hand me the pot, and I would try to rake out that last little bit, and then taste it like this. Just like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's going to work. Okay. So, I'm going to fan this fly out of here. I tell you, it's that time of year, stupid things. I'll cover them up. I'm going to let them cool for a little bit. And then we'll come back and I'll show you what they look like when they get all set up. And then hopefully you'll run out and try to make your own. Okay? So give it a little bit. Won't be long. These will be set up and I'll show you what they look like. Cookies are set. They're ready to be eaten. I'm going to have to take them to work because I know I will eat all of these and I don't need to eat all of these. But hopefully it will bring the same type of smiles that I remember my children having when we made these, sometimes together as they got older. And the smiles that we had for our mother when she gave them to us. The smile on my daddy's face when he was eating them. The only thing that'd make this better is a big old glass of milk. But I want to show you what a pretty cookie. Okay, let me move back. What a pretty cookie those are. Let me just try it. Tastes like love. It's so creamy, so chocolatey. It really makes me want to try it with that special dark chocolate cocoa because I love that stuff. But man, these are so good, so homey, easy to make. You saw how easy they are. And if you haven't made these before, please try and let me know in the comments if you do. If you have made these, tell me how you feel about them, if they're cookies that you enjoy. And please let me know if you enjoy these videos, if you'd like to see more. If you have not subscribed, please go down there and click that little bell. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video and want to see more as well. And I just want to say I love y'all. I hope you come back. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.